Well, hello, Huludinia. Kimraha. Oh, God, Melissa. Kimraha, Huludinia. Kimraha, Chief. Hello, Heather, Lisa, okay, Eva, Matthew, Tracy. Okay, so a little review. So when I say Kimrahau, Matthew, Kimrahau.
Kamiski.
Oh, Beluski. Dulik. Okay, Dulik. Sorry. I'm sorry. I mean Dulik. Lisa, Kimrahau.
Hami Guma.
Belugama. Okay, Hamitolacha. Hamitolacha. I'm happy. Okay. Heather, Kimrahau. Nope.
Hami Agihe Junior.
Hello, Geeka Junior. Okay, at Leba. Okay. Okay, Leba. Okay. Eva, Kimrahau.
Hami Twang.
Avelu Trang. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Tracy, Kimrahau. Oh, okay. Okay. That's quite all right. Okay. Yeah. All right. And let's see. And then Tracy, the other Tracy Rosales, Kimrahau. Okay, so which Tracy's sent me the message? Okay. Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, so Tracy Alt that doesn't have a mic, and then Tracy Rosales. Okay, all right. Okay, with Leba. Okay. Okay. I guess and do remember Koasahau. So Lisa, Koasahau. Remember that?
Thinking.
Oh, okay. Where are you from? Koas,
Oh.
where out of are you? Koasahau. And so the answer would be, okay, so I'll share. Okay. Right, okay, let's see. Where are we then? Right. Okay, yeah, right here. Right, okay. Well, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, Leva. Okay, so it goes something like, oh, for some reason I've got old English text. Right, all right. Okay, ahau. Okay, so this was in the dialogue last week. So, Heather, how do we answer that? How do you ahau?
We say ha, me, ah, and then you say where you're from.
Right, yeah. So in Heather's case, it's Hamia.
San Diego.
San Diego.
Hamia, San Diego.
Hamia, San Diego.
Mhm.
Okay, so Koasahau, literally something like where out of are you? Okay, where are you from? Hami, I am from San Diego. Okay, so Lisa, Koasahau.
Sorry, muted. Hami Temecula.
Temecula.
Hami.
Hami, Temecula. All right, Leva. Matthew, Koasahau.
Kami San Leandro.
Oh, okay. Me, San Leandro. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Okay, Gleva. Eva, koasaha.
Ami bon.
Ami, bon. Okay, Gleva. Okay. And see, Tracy, let's see. Oh, now Tracy Alt, you don't have a mic tonight, so just say it silently. Or not say it, but we won't hear it, but go ahead and get the practice. Hamia, wherever you're from. Okay. And Tracy Rosales, Koasaha.
Hami San Marcos.
Uh-huh. Okay, Gleva. Ami San Marcos.
And the
Oh.
same for Tracy Alt. We live like a couple blocks from each other.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, good. Okay. So both of you would say Hamia San Marcos. Okay. All right. Okay. Gleva. And let me just I'll make this a little bit smaller so we can get the lines all on one screen. Okay. Now, something else that Eva could have said, and I just point this out to show the other form, ha, mi, as, agermoch. Okay, so remember we use as when the name has a the in it. Okay, okay, so, and we'd say, hami, as, na, stachen, unicha. Okay, I am out of I'm from the United States. What is that? But that's a T. Unicha. Okay, I gotta check my spelling on this. What is this? Yeah, well, anyway, all right. You get the idea. Hamias nastachin unicha. All right, okay, so hamias agedamoch, hamias nastachin unicha. Somebody from Wales would say Hami As Achumri. Yeah, I'm from Wales, literally something like the Wales. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Leva. Okay. Kimaraha Anchicha Anju. Okay, so here's another one. Okay. And it goes into what we've been learning. Ha. Okay. Kimmer. Aha. On Chicha. Anju. Okay. How is the weather today on Chicha? The weather. Okay, so Avel e Fur. No. Avel e Che. Okay. Kimurahan Chicha Anju. Anju would be today. Okay. No, on Chicha would be the weather. Anju would be today. Aveli Fur. So if you remember, I touched on this last week. Okay, Avel. Avel is the question form of to be. Okay. In Gaelic, we have a different form of the verb for a statement. You know, so ha ifur, it is cold, or ha iche, but the question would be avel ifur. So Gaelic uses different forms for question, and you might say answer. Okay, so Lisa, Kimmerhan Chicha Anju.
Really, J.
Okay, Haiche. Okay.
How do you say very? Ro?
Oh, yeah. Ha e lay. Hey, lay would be very. Lay would be very. And you see right here, it lanites. Most Gaelic adjectives come after, sort of like French, come after the noun, but there are a few modifiers that come before the noun or the adjective, and these night and glay is one of them. Glay hey, I glay hey. Okay, Heather, Kimrahan Chicha Anchu.
A valley Grianach on you.
Okay, okay. Ha e.
Oh yeah. I said that in a question, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I tricked you. Okay.
Hi Grianach
Bria. Okay.
or
Probably
Bria
Bria. Hi Bria.
or Sunny is
Anchu.
what I was trying to say. Sunny.
Oh yeah, okay. And something else you could say is ha e grianach. Grianach. Now if so that's what you said. My apologies.
Yeah.
I misheard you. Grianach. Okay. Okay. Sunny. Grian. Okay. Grianach. Oh, no, I probably spelled it wrong. Okay. Grianach. Sunny. Okay. After sun, Grian.
It's Grian.
Grian. Grianach. Okay. Okay. So yeah, so now Gaelic is in Gaelic very often we're able to form adjectives. Well, like sometimes in English, form different types of words from a single root word. So if it's the sun is grian, sunny would be grianach. Okay, okay. So Matthew Kimaraha on Chicha Anchu.
Va i blah.
Oh, okay. Va e blah Anchu. Okay. Now what Matthew did was he used the past tense va. If I heard you correctly, okay, okay, by blahanju. It was warm today, and he used another word. Okay, blah, warm. Okay, anju. Okay, Eva, kimmer ahan chi.
What is foggy?
Okay, very good.
Okay.
Hai keoach anju. From keo, which is fog. Okay. Hai keoach anju. Okay. All right, Leva. Okay. And so see Tracy Alt if you could just say the words and we'll give you credit for answering. Okay. And then Tracy Rosales, Kimrahan Chicha Anchu. Sound, yeah, okay, go ahead.
Okay. Truthfully, I have no idea. I'm totally a bad student today. I have no freaking idea how to answer it.
Okay. Okay. Well, what do you want to say in English? Tell me in English. Well, what was the weather like today? What's the weather like today?
Hot.
Okay.
It's hot here. Yeah.
Ha e che. Okay. Ha che.
Aiche. Okay.
Aiche.
Aiche.
Okay, Blevo.
Thank you.
Che de Vea. Okay. Che de Vea. Okay. You're welcome. Che de Vea. You're welcome. Okay. All right. Well, Bleva. Becken Korog. Okay, we had Becken Korog. Okay. A little conversation. Okay, Becken Korog. Okay. And the roots of this are from Beck equals little and Becken is used to indicate something like a little conversation in a small amount of conversation. If I said Corag Beck, that would be a little conversation, a small conversation, a small conversation. Okay, so a little bit of a difference. Okay, all right. Leva. Oh, and Corag is conversation, and just to give you an idea of how Gaelic words are formed, sometimes co equals, well, like in English, co together, and ra is to say. Okay, so saying together. Okay. Many of the words in Gaelic, well, I don't know if you're aware of this, but in English, many of our words are not formed from original English. So we get them from Latin or Greek or something like that. I mean, so conversation does not come from the Germanic root language of English. It's I think it's from Latin. So I never took Latin in high school, and I just picked this up along the way, but it's certainly not a Germanic word. Okay. All right. Anyway, but all right. Okay. All right. Well, Leva. All right. So any questions about this or anything else about what we're doing? Okay. So anyway, so I sent out a link for the week 5 material. Well, I sent out the material, and I also sent out the link in the Dropbox, and so you'll have access to that, of course. And by tomorrow, just depending on when Zoom is finished processing our recording, you'll have a recording of the class. And so again, if you don't get enough Gaelic instruction, you can go back to review it, or you can amaze your friends and have a Gaelic class party, invite everybody over. And no, we're not going to watch the football game. We're going to watch the Gaelic class. Okay. Anyway. All right. So Capital Hoon Sequoia.
I have one question with the logbox. When you send us the link, you always send us the one for this week. But can I go into every week? Because some of my downloads didn't work right in the beginning because of my computer.
Oh, well, yes, the links are still live. I will send you the parent link to the whole class.
Oh, that would be nice. Thank you.
And then you can navigate, weeks 1 through 5, and as we go forward, all the successive weeks as well. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Shade of it. So let me. Parent. Okay. Yeah. So I'll be sure to send out the parent link to and in the meantime, if I'll do that tonight or at the very latest tomorrow when I upload the link to the video. And I forget what I was going to say. And in the meantime, remember that you can use the old links that I sent out before to go to the previous weeks as well. But I will send out the parent link, and you can navigate that. Okay. All right. Okay. And let's see. Any other business? And all right. Okay. Well, let's anyway, so here's the Piper. Okay. And our motto, Seachdaine Vrishja Navierla Chlishja. Better broken Gaelic than fluent English. A Gaelic Vrishja. Gaelic broken, Sgeulachd. English, we used to have a word in English that we used clippingly, fluent. Okay. All right. And here's the piper. Okay. And this pertains to the Sgeulachd of the week, the piper playing for the fairies. All right. Reminder on Class of Nations. And okay, so in this class, we'll have a Fàilte, the proverb of the week, and we're going to learn some I don't know what I was going to say, but it wasn't vocabulary. Anyway, we're going to have some vocabulary this week, and not only colors, but other common nouns. Okay, and I attempt to combine them with colors, hopefully to help us remember them more commonly. And so, as we build our vocabulary, we can use the Gaelic during the day. So as you learn the words of things, you can say, do it on who. Okay, there's black on the dog, and I'll explain, how that works, but, the dog is black, things like this. You drive down the road, Jerek, in a car, there's red on the car. It's a red car, then, the car is red. Anyway, okay. And this week, we'll discuss the fairyfolk. Okay. And an Òran na Seachdaine, the song of the week, Ba Ba mo Leanabh Beag, a wonderful little lullaby, right? Okay. All right. So, okay. Now, let's see. And I wanted to do one thing. I have okay. I'll put this in, and I will upload the revised lesson for the night. But this is a website or a YouTube video. If you have an interest, I think it's a good idea. It's titled, well, I titled it Sleep Gaelic. Okay. Okay. Learn before sleeping.
I don't have any money.
See? Okay. Oh, no. You guys can't see my okay. All right. Heather is very much aware of my
I was gonna say we don't see what you're seeing.
right. All right. Okay, so I'll reshare. Okay, hold on. I'll stop share, and then I'll go to share again, and I'll just show you what this little website is. Yeah, show the screen. Okay. All right, so now you can see the YouTube screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, Leva. Okay, so anyway, so this is what is it? It's an 8-hour video. Okay, but the thing is, you don't have to watch it. You don't even have to pay attention to it. Okay, so it's called Learn Before Sleeping or Learn While Sleeping.
Etiquette some biakum. Chanil etiquette some biakum.
You see, so it'll have the Gaelic, and if you're looking at it, you can see what it's spelled like, but you don't even have to do that. And then you'll have the English. I don't have any money. Okay, and you can just turn it on. So if you're like me and you wake up in the middle of the night and can't get back to sleep, I find sometimes it's helpful to turn something on. Okay, and And so this might be just the thing for you. Okay. And again, you don't have to pay attention. You can play it during the day. You know, you're moving around doing other stuff. And again, you don't have to pay any attention. It's meant to be played in the background. So anyway, and I will include the link in the revised lesson plan for tonight, and I'll also put it in the links of the class. Okay. All right. So anyway, so a couple of short videos for our Fàilte session. So hold on one second. Let me okay, so follow along, try to say the words. Okay, try to say the words, and we have a little reminder of our conversations. Okay.
Fallach ginion. Kimmer a haashev.
Kimmer a hau.
Tach beleef.
Tach belacht.
Hami fuer.
Hami chi.
Hami tollichtje.
Hami bronach.
Hami ski.
Hami trang.
Hami chain.
Chanil mi gyma.
Okay, and we have another short one, introductions. Okay, now one of the things that you might have noticed, and I'll cover this in a future lesson, is a couple of people said something like, or one of the persons said, Kimmer Hashiv. Gaelic has a formal and an informal register, like many European languages do. English doesn't. Okay, but Gaelic does. Okay, and so that's the difference. When we say "oo," I've been focusing on "oo" because that's very commonly used. That's the informal register. Okay, that's informal. That's the friendly register. That's not something you'd. I mean, like if you happen to meet, the owner of the company or the president or something like that, you wouldn't say "ooh," you'd say "she." Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see. So, what do we got? Well, hold on. You got to figure out how to navigate this. Okay. So, yes, Lisa.
I noticed a difference with the thank you. There was two different thank you.
Yes. That is the difference between the formal and the informal as well. So let would be tapalet would be the informal. Both of them mean thanks with you, okay, thanks to you, okay, and more familiarly in English. Lave would be the formal form. Okay, and I'll get to that, and so we'll get to that. Yeah, not tonight, but we will get to that. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. So let's go back to our screen, and I've got one more short video, and okay, introductions. Okay, we'll go introductions, and again, this is a little bit of a review of stuff that we've covered. All right.
De kuf. inanye.
Fàilte.
Hallo.
Hi.
Martin va.
Fisker ma.
Eiche va.
Mar sin lá. Mar sin leave.
Is mische.
Je an tenem a horst.
Koha seo.
Seo.
Okay, so I'm going to give you the English translations if you don't have them. So anyway, so.
Ukur inanye.
Akur ananya. Introductions, as it says, literally to put something like to put knowledge, okay, to knowledge of a person, okay. Introduction.
Fàilte.
Fàilte. Okay, so we see this at the beginning of the lesson each week in the in our schedule. It means welcome. Fàilte.
Hallo.
I don't think that needs translation.
Hi.
The same. Okay, hi.
Martin va.
Matin va. Okay, that's good morning, or literally morning good. Okay, but it's used as good morning. Matin va.
Fisker ma.
Beskerma means either good afternoon or good evening. Okay, and now one of the reasons for that is up in the Highlands. Highlands are very, very far north. Okay, and especially during the summer months, the Fesker or afternoon and evening kind of blend together. It's still light around 10 or 11 o'clock at night. So there's so Fesker is kind of flexible as to what exactly is meant. It means sometime after noon, after the midday. Okay. And Feskerma can be used either as a greeting, you see somebody, oh, Feskerma, or as a goodbye. Feskerma, I'll see you later. Okay, good day.
Eiche va.
Aicheva, good night. Okay, good night. Use the same way.
Mar sin lá.
Martian lot, we've seen that before. So long.
Mar sin leave.
Martian lave, like Lisa asked, difference between lot and lave, the informal and the formal, and we'll get to that soon.
Is mische.
So we encountered this before, Ismisha, and then a name, Ismisha Seamus, for instance.
Je an tenem a horst.
Okay, so there we have the name, asking Jan Tenemahorsht. Okay, what is the name that is on, literally, what is the name that is on you? What's your name?
Koha seo.
This means, who is here? Who is this? Kohasho. Okay.
Seo.
Show, and then Anna, Madi. Okay, name, right? Okay. All righty. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Shanach on the Shechina. Okay, I don't know why I've got two titles here. Okay, the proverb of the week. Clownan and Gael Gula Fachela. So there's a little essay that follows. I'm not going to go through, I'm not going to read it to you. You can read it if you want to. children of the Gael, shoulder to shoulder, something like that. Okay, shoulder together. Their shoulders together. Okay, clans of the Gael, shoulder to shoulder. Though clan is very often more properly translated as children of the Gael. Okay, Clownan and Gael, Gula Fricala. Okay, all right. So, linked in each other's shoulders. There are several expressions in Gaelic that refer to the collective nature of Gaelic culture. Okay, Gaelic culture is not traditionally an individualistic culture. Okay, it's a collective culture. Okay, and this also refers to not only the warlike instance of the Scottish regiments, the Highland regiments, shoulder to shoulder. Okay, but also the practice of fording Highland streams, would be very violent, very, very turbulent. And so, people would link arm to arm to help each other across the stream. Okay, and if you haven't thought of it before, very often sociologists divide cultures into an I culture or a we culture. Gaelic culture tends to be more of a we culture rather than an I culture. And there are other sayings that go along with it. Chadunya dunya nahuner. A man alone is no man. Okay. Haniach dunya nahuner. It's not good that a man should be alone. Okay. It's lach gulen gunvraher. Okay. Okay. An alm duna fear chech and lacher. Weak is the shoulder without a brother when men are meeting one another. Okay, so sayings like this, okay, emphasizes the collective nature of Gaelic culture, and in fact, to such an extent that there's a Gaelic poet and scholar who remarked that, at least traditionally, Gaelic autobiography or biographies tended to leave out the person they're supposed to be writing about, and rather wrote about the culture or the community out of which the person arose, in which the person was living, which is kind of defeats the purpose, according to, say, American thinking, of the purpose of biography. So anyway, all right, so grammar na shechana, grammar of the week. Okay, dahan, or colors. And so here I'm going to pull up, I have a PowerPoint. And I'll show this to you. Okay. Is it? Okay. Okay. Well. Duh. Okay. I think I have to go with the Word document here. So dahan, colors. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Oops. All right. Okay. So now one of the things to note is different. I am going to enlarge these. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. So sometimes cultures or language cultures will categorize colors differently from others. And so you'll see this in Gaelic too. So for instance, Leah is very often can refer to gray, as in gray hair, or it can refer to very pale blue, as in the color of a sky, or the grayish color of a sky, which is the color of a sky that you very often see in Scotland. Okay, so that's Leah. Okay. Let me. It's Leah. Clas is very often referred to as gray, but it's gray that's very often applied to a thing. So so Gaelic sometimes makes a distinction not only in the hue of the color, but also in what the color is on. All right. Okay. Okay, so that's Leah. I'll go to Ruag. Okay. Ruag, we might see it as red. Sometimes in English, you might call it ruddy. Okay. That might actually be derived from the Gaelic word. But Ruag is the color that is on a living thing. It's a fur color. Okay. And the thing that might be kind of confusing is you can have the same color if it's on a, say, a cow, it's ruag, but it's called something different if it's on a barn or a fence or something like that. So ruag. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. So ruag, here's some more examples of ruag. Okay. This red hair. Okay. Ruag, here's many people who are ruag. And then Rapist Ruag McGregor. Okay, Rob Roy McGregor. And if you've, heard of, the famous outlaw, famous Scottish hero, rebel, he was named after the color of his hair, Rapist Ruag. Okay. And I think I've touched on before how very often people were identified not just by their first name, but by kind of a nickname, or not kind of, but by a nickname, a firearm. Okay, just to distinguish Rapist Ruag from another rapist. Okay. Okay. And then just to illustrate, if it's on an inanimate object, the same color, and I tried to find very similar color that we would call red on a barn. This would be called Gaelic, which means red. Okay. But it's not hair. Okay, it's not fur. Okay. And this is another example of Gaelic, the red fire extinguisher. Gaelic. Okay. Okay. And we have another distinction. Ban. Okay. Ban can be white, okay, or blonde. Okay. And it's ban. Okay. Okay. White, or and it could be the white of a cow. Okay. Okay. As opposed to sometimes you might see the same color on a house or a fence, and in this case, it'd be called gill. Gill, not ban, but gill. Okay, and so what the color is on, makes a difference as well in what we call it. Okay. So right here, J and Da aha show. Okay. What color is here? So here we have ban versus gill. Okay, Ban versus Gel. Okay. All right. And here's another distinction that we have, another curious distinction. In Gaelic, the color of grass is gorum, which normally means blue, but it's applied to grass. And one of the ways that we might think about that is if you've heard of the bluegrass of Kentucky, the Kentucky bluegrass, a green that is so rich it's almost blue. And so, but in Gaelic it's called gorum, which otherwise would be blue. Okay, green would be uanya. Green would be a uanya, but vegetation is not called uanya. It's called gorum. All right. Okay. Okay. Jehan da ahasho.
Are plants also gorum then? Anything,
Yes.
anything
Yeah.
that's like a plant?
Yeah. What we call green plants are also gorum.
Uh,
All right. Okay. All right. So. All right. So this would be gorum. Here we have gorum. Okay. Jen da ahasho. Gorum. Okay. Okay. This would be buya. Buya, yellow. Buya. Okay. And this would be perpy. Okay. So that's an easy one to remember. Perpy. Okay. And then remember, this is gel.
do.
And do. Do. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And that's down, round. And this is uanya. Okay. And this would be glass. And Òrans. Òrans. Okay. All right. And this would be Leah. Leah. That'd be glass. Okay, so here we're looking at not the grass, but the color of the fence, and that'll be glass as well, glass. Okay. And this would be ruag. Ruag. Okay. As would this be. Ruag. Okay. And this, even though it looks the same to the English eye, is classified as Jeddick. Okay, Jeddick. And this would be Ban. Ban. So, you know, there's a little variation of what you call Ban. Okay. And Gel. Gel. Oh. Well, okay. Uanya. Okay. And of course, this is Gorum.
Gorum.
Gorum. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. And I have a PDF uploaded as well. Okay. All right. Okay. And okay, so look at this. This Jane da air. Okay. Okay, so And then we're going to go through this, and this is something that you can practice on. I've devised this as kind of flashcards. So, and here we combine colors with objects, or in this case, an animal, okay? Common nouns, okay? And then how you can work this is, the question is J and da aha air. And remember that a color is on something. In English, we say something is black, okay? Or blue or green or whatever. In Gaelic, we say that color is on it, okay? The color is on it. The color isn't its essence, as it were. It is just a coloration on it. And over here, you'll see the noun that describes what we see in the picture. Okay, so ku would be a what?
A dog.
A dog. Very good. Okay, yeah, okay. Good guess. Okay. Ku. And how we'd phrase this is ha do, remember? The color do, black, air, ku. J and da, aha, air. Lari, okay. The truck, ha, glas, lari. Okay, a glas, lari. Okay. J and da, aha, ha, cut. Ha, ban, cut. Uh-huh. Okay. And this is a bow, a cow, you know, classic Highland cattle. Okay. Ha ruag, bow. Okay. Okay. And maybe at the beginning, and I'll just add a slide with a quick cheat sheet. Okay. Do equals black, Gael equals white, thing, bon, equals, well, white, blonde, rug, red, fur, hair, jeddick equals red, thing. What do we got? I already have, let's see. Well, booyah equals yellow. Gorum equals blue. But also green grass. Okay. What else do we have? Ruag, ban, jed, booyah, gorum. Down equals brown. Do you have any others? Well, I'll come back to this. Okay.
Burpee.
Oh yeah, perpy. Okay.
My
Perpy.
favorite.
Okay. Yeah, I love that one. Okay, equals purple. Okay, let's see. Okay.
Orange.
Orange. Okay. Orange equals orange. Okay. Any others?
Green.
Green. Do I have green? Oh yeah. Luanya equals green. Okay. But not grass. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Gleva. I got Jeddick, Rug, Bond, Duke, down. Okay. All right. And I can come back. Okay. All right. Okay. So okay. So J and Da air tie. Ha booyah air tie. Booyah air tie. Okay. And so this exercise has a couple different purposes. One, we go through it and we learn, we reinforce our learning of colors, but also, as I said, we learn some common nouns. Okay, so Jane da aher bata. Goram
Goram.
bata. Your bata. Okay.
Goram er bata.
Uh-huh. Jane da er ek. Ech. Okay.
Du er ech.
Do er ech. Okay. Jane da her ha er car.
Gorum.
Goram. Goram er car. Okay. Jane da ha er bus.
Uanya.
Uanya. No. Booyah. Booyah.
Booyah. Booyah.
Booyah er bus. Okay. Okay. And then you notice bus in this sense it carries with it an English pronunciation. Okay. All right. Okay. As is sometimes common with words that are adopted. Okay. All right. So Jan da er kota.
Jerig.
Jerig er kota. Okay. Jan da her board.
Down. Airport.
Down.
Down.
Board. Either board or borscht. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And this word you can well, some of the words are might be easy to remember, like car, okay, kota, okay, bus, of course, board. You can remember from like bed and board, okay, old name for a for a inn or something like that. Jenda er Ion.
Hagil er Ion.
Hagel or Haban. Haban er Ion. Okay.
Feathers are like fur.
What? I'm sorry?
Are feathers considered fur?
Yeah. Sorry for the confusion. Yeah. So it's on a so it's on a living thing. So we'd call it ban. Okay. And Ion would be a generalized word for bird. Okay. Not specifically a swan. Okay. Jenda aher lore.
Bu er lore.
Do er lore. Very good. Okay.
Do.
Do er lore. Okay. Okay. Jenda aher kerk.
Booyah, maybe.
Yeah, exactly right. Booyah. Booyah er kerk. Jenda aher Doris.
Jerk er Doris.
Jerk.
Jerk.
Jerk er Doris. Leva. Jenda her Brickish.
Gorm er Brickish.
Very good. Gorum er Brickish. Jenda her Lenya.
Gil er Lenya.
Gel er Lenya.
Yeah.
Jenda er Fion.
Jerig.
Jerig er Fion. Jenda her
Jerk er Ul.
er Ul. Jerig er Ul. I guess Jenda her Fia.
Down er fiag.
Down er Fia. Okay. Jenda er Kasha.
Booyah.
Booyah.
Yeah, booyah. Maybe. Okay. Yeah, okay. Jenda her Kura.
Ban er Kura.
Ban er Kura. Leva. Jenda her Muk. Oh, I didn't give you this. Pink.
Pink er muk.
Yeah, pink er muk. Okay. So I'll go back up and I'll insert that. Let's see, where are we? Okay. Pink. Not a terribly hard one to remember. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Jane da aher sul.
Gorum, I think.
Yeah, I'd say gorum. Okay. Okay. Sul would be I. Okay. Jane da aher drochich. And right here, looking at the bridge, drochich.
Down drochich.
Very good. Down drochich. Yeah. Jane da aher plena.
Jerk plena.
Jerk plena, pleva. Jane da aher fjord.
Gorum.
Gorum fjord. Okay, that's the tricky one. Remember? Okay. And something that's fascinated me, or long fascinated me, I studied a bit of linguistics when I was in college, and color is not an absolute. We tend to think of color as being an absolute, but it's really a method of categorization. And if you look at a color wheel, you'll see that colors blend into one another, and different cultures will make the divisions in different places. And so, that's what's happening in Gaelic. So anyway, Jane da air fleur.
Yeah. Air fleur.
Did you say booyah?
Booyah.
Booyah air fleur. Okay. And Jane da air fiachel.
Gyal.
Gael fiachel.
Gael.
Flavor. Okay. Okay. And now we aren't going to do this now, but for yourself, you can go through and name the color and the object. And so you go here and you go Jane da ha air ha du ku. Okay, so asked to remember two different things. Okay, all right. So anyway, so this is this exercise should keep you busy and keep you out of trouble for the coming week. So anyway, all right, okay, all right, and I will upload the revised version of this with the cheat sheet. Okay, all right, all right. Any questions so far? Any questions? Okay. No, okay, Leva. Right. All right. Okay, so where do we go now? All right. Let me see. Okay. All right. Let me
So what would no be, Hanil?
What's that?
What would no be, Hanil?
Oh, Haniel, yeah.
To just say no? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Literally, it would mean is not. Haniel is not, or no. Okay. Well, not to complicate things. Okay, but it would be and excuse me 1 second. I'm adjusting the sides of these slides. Okay. Right. Right. Okay. Right. Now, in our as we go further, we will encounter other ways to say no, because Chaniel doesn't mean no generally. It only means no if the verb, if it answers the verb, okay? And I'll explain that as we go forward. But for right now, we can use Chaniel as no. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry, I wanted to adjust the size of these slides to make them more visible for us. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Now let me go to Zoom and share. Let's see. Would I add the phonetic spelling under the colors? Yes. Okay. I'll do that before I repost. Okay. All right. Thank you for the request. Okay. All right. Okay. So let me go to, I want to go to share and, all right. Okay. All right. Okay. So you can see my, my page here, right? Right?
Yes.
Okay. The Sgeulachd, the fairy folk. Okay. All right. Okay. And this falls under the category of the folklore. Okay. So who are the fairies? What were they like? Where do they live? Where and when do we see them? How do they deal with humans? Okay. All right. Okay. So so one thing to remember is the fairies of Gaelic folklore were nothing like those in contemporary popular media or contemporary popular American media. They weren't the little teeny weeny Tinkerbell type fairies. Okay. They're quite a bit different. So there are contradictory accounts of who the fairies were. And again, remember, there's no Bible of Gaelic culture in terms of you had some authority saying this is how it has to be, this is what you have to believe. Okay. But there's different accounts according to different people at different times. They were spirits. They're the remnants of the race that lived in Gaelic lands before the Gaels came. And I'll talk about the coming of the Gaels at another time. Okay. And when they're defeated in the invasion of Ireland and Scotland by the Gaelic peoples, they retreated under the mountains or under the waves. Okay, and they set up their own little kingdoms there, and with their own customs and realms, and very often we'll find them in stories living in fairy mounds and little mounds, okay, or not little mounds, but hills, okay, that were magically entered, okay, sometimes by humans. They're the same size as humans, so they weren't teeny weeny people, okay, and they could cross over into this realm, the realm of the humans, at certain times and under certain conditions, and very shortly we will have Halloween come up, which is a very important Celtic holiday, Gaelic holiday, and that's the time that the fairies are especially prevalent in crossing over from their realm to ours. Okay, and this is a painting, Riders of the Shia. Okay, the Shia, the Sìthichean, the fairy folks. Okay. And you see there a couple unicorns here. They're riding unicorns. Okay. Okay. The Gaelic cosmology. Okay. So this is an attempt by somebody to chart the cosmology. We had Donya Beo, living humans. Okay. Genevan, demons. Spirit and Namara, spirits of the dead. Anglin, angels. And Sìthichean, August Cratrin Osnatra Ela, fairies and other supernatural creatures. And so a very rich cosmology amongst the Gaels. And again, the thing to remember is that in Gaelic culture, well, at certain times, the church, sometimes very strict Protestant church, Presbyterian church, was at war with any idea that that there are other spiritual forces or any other spirit besides that sanctioned by the Bible was evil. That wasn't the case in the Gaelic world. The Gaels lived quite quite comfortably alongside of Christian angels and the pre-Christian fairy folk. Okay? All right. So anyway, many stories about the fairies. Humans visiting the land of the fairies provide something of a benefit to fairies and coming away with a valuable prize. And so we'll encounter stories like this as we go forward. You know, sometimes a human will do a favor for a fairy and get a gift in return. Humans tricking fairies into giving them a prize or a fortune. This is sometimes how humans got a prize from the fairies. Sometimes humans and fairies fell in love. Right? Or sometimes fairies stole something of value from humans, even children. And stories about the changeling, you know, a sick child that sometimes people thought was really left by the fairies, and the healthy child stolen. Okay, and known as Dunya Kuchelchech, a changed person, Dunya Dupelcha, a double, okay, or Leanabh Beag, a fairy baby. Okay, so these are some of the manifestations. Okay, and what were the fairies like? Was there only one belief system? So a fairy, also known as a croch, a hill. Sometimes Luch She, the people of the fairies. Okay, the sounds of she, fairy, and she, a hill or a mound or a fairy mound, are very similar. Okay, and she also means peace. So Luch She could the people of peace could also mean people of the fairies, the fairy folk, or people of the fairy mounds. Belief in fairies lasted in the Christian era. As I said, Gaels believed equally in the mythology of fairy folk and Christianity, which might be one of the reasons why witch persecutions never took hold in Gaelic culture in the Highlands. Okay, this sort of spirit world was considered natural to the Gaels, you know. So, so if you remember, hearing stuff about like the Salem witch trials, there were witch trials and persecutions over much of the European world and the Eurocentric world, including the Americas, during the 16 and 1700s. In fact, I think the last witch to be executed was in the 1800s, not that long ago. But it never took hold in the Gaelic culture for these reasons. Okay, so here's a story section on Leanabh Beag, the fairy lover. Okay, many tales in Gaelic folklore about a supernatural lover of a human. And so remember, they're not the miniature beings as we see in Disney type stories, but they're full-sized. Think of the recent film version, not recent anymore, of The Lord of the Rings. The fairies, were appeared in human form, and for all intents and purposes were indistinguishable from a human. Okay. And very often, if a person would encounter a fairy, it's only realized or revealed afterwards that the lover was in fact a Sgeulachd, a fairy person. Okay. So who were the Sìthichean? Who were the fairies? Sometimes conflated with spirits, though they're not spirits of the dead necessarily. One explanation, the vanished race theory. Okay, so as I said, they were the race had lived in the Gaelic lands before the Gaels came, and they were defeated and they retreated under the mounds or under the waters. Okay, and many legends, the fairies living in fairy mounds. Okay, and many stories about humans gaining entrance to the fairy mounds and encountering these mythological beings. And the legend might be a kind of mythologizing of history that is making mythology out of some sort of actual historical event. And one little clue that we have, and I find this kind of interesting, is the Gaelic tribes that conquered Ireland and then Scotland were an Iron Age people. And if you're not up on your Paleolithic history, the Bronze Age came before the Iron Age, and iron is much stronger metal than bronze. And the people they displaced, the Seachdaine, the tribe of the goddess of Dana, had only Bronze Age technology. But the Gaels had iron that is much stronger. And in, say, a sword fight between people with bronze swords and iron swords, the iron swords will just totally destroy the bronze. Okay, so accordingly, in mythology, fairies were afraid of iron. It is their kryptonite, their silver bullet. Okay, which belief is contained in the folk traditions. Nailing an iron horseshoe to a door repelled fairies. Surrounding a cemetery with an iron fence was thought to contain the souls of the dead, not let the dead out. Sometimes bearing an iron knife under the entrance to one's home kept away ill-intentioned fairies. And sometimes people would put iron, an item of iron in a baby's crib to protect it from being stolen by the fairies. There's a story of Tam Lin. A young man is kidnapped by the queen of the fairies. As a fairy, well, she falls in love. He falls in love with a human Janet who becomes pregnant by him. So he's not a fairy. Okay. He can only be rescued by Janet on Samhain, that's Halloween, when the fairies ride out into the world, and she must pull him down from his horse and hold him tightly, even though he changes into all sorts of terrible beasts, a lion, a serpent, a burning coal, and finally he reverts to human form. The Maichen Mara, okay, the Selkie cycle. I might have talked about this before. The Selkie is a different sort of supernatural being, not a fairy, but a seal maid, some sort of like a mermaid, though not a fish, a seal. Okay, very often kidnapped by a human and eventually escapes back to nature. There's a story of the sisters' curse. Okay, the two sisters, they live alone in a small cottage. From time to time, the older sister must go away, and then the fairy lover appears to the sister who remains. The lover warns her not to tell anyone, especially her sister. However, she lets the secret slip, and he is never seen again. And the abandoned sister goes out of her mind. Okay, so that's the sister's curse. Okay, how do we explain these stories? One is sociocultural. Many Gaelic households were isolated and allowed courting, wooing to be conducted via nighttime visits. And so a young man might visit a cottage, an isolated cottage, and woo, the girl who lived there, and woo her away from her parents and, out into the countryside. And the practice was so usual that there's a phrase to describe the nighttime visitors: Kaddish Nahaika, friend of the night. Okay. Real life circumstances are mythologized. Sometimes certain inconvenient moral issues that society does not want to face or does not possess a vocabulary. Okay. Note that there is no scarlet letter syndrome in traditional Gaelic culture. No shame of a young woman who bore children out of wedlock. Okay, but so how do the Gaels in traditional society explain, and a so-called illegitimate child? Well, the child of a fairy. Okay. And of course, there are other explanations, and that the Sìthichean are real. Okay, so that's also a possibility. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. 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 Any questions? Okay. Okay. And as we go forward, yes, and I'll come back. Let me just make a note about oh, what do we got? Okay. Okay. Phonetic spellings for the colors. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. And as we go forward, I will we'll encounter specific stories, other specific stories about fairies, and sometimes songs. Okay, sometimes songs that are always kind of fun. Okay, all right, okay, all right. So, we have one more thing to do. Okay, and I'm going to share again. Okay, share the screen, share sound, share screen. Okay. All right. Okay. So you should see this. Okay. And this is a song, Ba Ba Molenef Beck. All right. So go ahead and say that. Ba Ba Molenef Beck.
Ba Molenef Beck.
Uh-huh. Okay. And the first line is Ba Ba Molenef Beck. Bi-u more get a ha-u Beck. So say that. Bi-u more.
Be more.
Get a ha-u Beck.
Kerahahu Beck.
You will be big, though you are small. You're small now. Ba Ba Molenef Beck. Ba Molenef Beck. Han Uren mi got howl.
Uren mi gahawa.
I cannot lull you. I cannot, I can't put you to sleep. Okay, you're J Agul Animi Root.
J Agul Animi Root.
Root. Okay, yeah. So what, my dear, will I do with you? Okay, so the baby won't go to sleep. I got a spelling issue here. Okay. Okay. And then that's repeated. Jayagula Nimi Root. Gunvanya Hika Acham Good. Gunvanya Hika. Good. Okay. Without breast milk to give you. Okay. Gunvanya Kika Acham Good.
Gunvanya
Kika Acham Good. Gunvanya Kika Acham Good. Gunvanya Kika Acham Good. Echel Òran Gungavu Creep.
Echel Òran
Gungavu creep.
I am afraid you might get croup, which is at one time a very common infant disease. Echel Òran, fear on me that you will get croup. Echel Òran Gungavu Creep. Echel Òran Gungavu Creep. Le Bukach Avuntata.
Le Bukach Avuntata.
Avuntata. With the softness of the potatoes. Okay, so and this was written or composed or arose at a time of the potato famine. Now, Scotland, the Highlands of Scotland especially, experienced a famine, a potato famine, very similar to the Irish. It wasn't severe as the Irish potato famine, but they did experience the disease that infested the potatoes in Ireland. It wasn't as serious in Scotland because the Scots had other resources. In Ireland, unfortunately, the English laws made the famine much worse. like food was taken away from the Irish farms. Heavy rents were imposed upon the Irish poor farmers. It was forbidden to import food into Ireland. All food had to be exported for the profit of the English businesses. And so the famine in Ireland was much worse than it was in Scotland, though it was still serious. Okay. All right. So anyway, so let's try this. Ba ba molenef beck. Okay, so let's try this. Okay.
Welcome to Learn a Gaelic Song. Today's song.
Okay, so can you see and hear this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Leva. Okay. All right, so let's go. All right, so we'll have Gaelic on the top and English down below, and try to follow along. I'm going to slow it down just a tad, make it a little bit easier to follow. Okay, and then remember these songs are useful for us for pronunciation, for vocabulary, okay, and just to learn culture, but also learn the rhythms of the language. Okay, all right, so let's try this. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm trying to. I'm sorry, this is this is a slightly different song than the one I gave you. So let's go to my other length. I think we can get here. Here we go.
Vanya kiche akum hut. Gan vanya kiche akum hut. Ekularum gangavukrup. Baba molenuf bek. Vitu morget haubek. Baba molenuf bek. Chanurin migatalech. Ekolorum gangavukrup. Ekolorum gangavukrup. Ekolorum gangavukrup. Lepuketavantahta.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's Ba Molenif Beck, and let me show you something. Okay, so this is okay, so a little okay, right here on the right, or right here. Okay, the what a potato with the potato blight looks like. I mean, just rotten and inedible. And as I said, the famine in the Highlands in Scotland was not as bad. The Scots had other resources, and so, but like you saw in the in the videos, there's still a great deal of anger over food grown in the Highlands being shipped away for the profit of lowland and English businesses. But it was much worse in Ireland. In Ireland, in the mid 1800s, the potato famine was so great that 1/3 of the population died. That'd be like 100 million people in the United States today dying. 1/3 fled the country, and and hence the massive migrations of the Irish to the Americas and to places like Australia and New Zealand. So Ireland lost 2/3 of its population either by death or immigration, largely because, and this is attested historically, largely because, sad to say, of the governmental policies of the English who were ruling Ireland at the time. So anyway, but as I said, it was bad in Scotland, but not that bad. Okay, so anyway, but on that happy note, okay, so I will be uploading revised documents, documents with my notes on them. And of course, as you go forward in this coming week, be repeating to yourself the colors, okay? And words of the vocabulary that we've learned, and be sure to email me or contact me otherwise with any questions that you might have. Okay. All right. Okay. So, Aikava Hula Dunya. Aikava.
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 Aikava.